Today we're going to be taking a look at the Nightcat tri-point hammock that they sent me to review and share with you. Now, if you want to learn more about this hammock, I will leave affiliate links down below. I'm going to leave all the metric conversions up to you today, but all packed up in its carry case. The hammock is about 17.5 inches long, it's about 5.5 inches tall, and about 7.5 inches deep. Now, the carry case, of course, is made from heavy-duty nylon, and there is a single carry strap on one end. Now, there is a zipper, of course, on top that we can open up and see what's inside. Speaking of what's inside the carry bag, well, I'll show you that now. The first thing is a detachable storage pouch. We, of course, get the hammock body itself. Then we get 3 sets of straps. 2 of them are a little shorter and have green stitching. One's a little longer and has orange stitching. We also get 2 sets of poles, one thinner set that are gold and slightly arced, and then we get another set of thicker black aluminum poles, and all are held together with shock cord. We, of course, have a rain fly, and we also have an instruction manual. Before we head out back and find 3 trees to set the hammock up on, I want to let you know that I'm offering this video up for entertainment purposes only. If you've purchased one of these hammocks or are considering purchasing one, make sure that you read through the owner's manual before setting it up and using it. With that out of the way, let's go find a spot to put this up. One of the drawbacks of this hammock is that it needs 3 trees to support it rather than the 2 that you would need for a normal hammock. And the 3 trees in question need to be about 10 to 16 feet apart and in a triangular pattern. Well, I've been wandering around the woods here for a while now, and I think I've found a pattern of trees that will work, but I'm not entirely sure they're triangular enough. But they are spaced far enough apart, so we're going to give them a try and see if they'll work. So I'm going to start off at the head end of the hammock with the green strap, and I'm going to wrap it around one of the head end trees. I'm going to orient this so that the loop end of the strap is facing sort of in towards the center of the triangle, and then I'm going to wrap the free end around the tree and pass the free end through the loop in the strap. Now I'm going to wrap this strap around the tree twice just for some extra stability, but depending on how thick your tree is and how far your span is going to be, you may need to adjust the amount of times you wrap around your tree. I'm going to do the same thing on the tree that I'm going to use for the other side of the head end of the hammock. Now the orange strap attaches to the tree a little bit differently than the green straps did. The orange strap doesn't have any loops on the ends. Both of the ends are free and connect to the narrow end of the hammock. So I'm going to roughly center the strap around the back side of the tree so that the free ends are roughly equal in length. And then I'm going to estimate the circumference of the tree and pull one end out kind of 2 times that circumference. And then I'm going to wrap that end around the tree twice. Now when I'm done, I'm going to walk out the free ends of the orange strap to the center of where the hammock is going to be and make sure that they're roughly equal length, which these are not. So I'm going to adjust my wrap. Now I'm going to grab the hammock body and unfold it and lay it out in between my trees. And I'm going to orient it so the narrow end is towards my single tree. Now it's easy to tell which is the narrow end because the straps on the hammock body have orange stitching to match up with the orange strap. Now I'll assemble the black aluminum pole and I'll slide that through the guide in the base of the tent on the narrow side. Now I'll grab the strap, and right where the orange stitching is, there's a little pouch in the strap. I'm going to put that over the end of the aluminum pole and then repeat the process for the other side. Now I'll grab the straps on the tent body with the metal buckles, and I'll grab my free ends of my orange strap and put them through the buckles. Now because the span of my trees is kind of far apart, I'm not going to slide this up too much, just a little bit so it's inserted in there. We can always tighten it later. And then of course I'll grab the strap from the other side and put that through the buckle on the other side of the hammock base. Now I'm going to come to the wider end of the hammock and attach the green straps from the 2 trees to the corners of the hammock. Now I've already determined that my straps were kind of too short, having been wrapped around the tree twice. So I've changed it so it's only wrapped around once, and now I think everything is going to work. So I'll just grab the free end of those green straps and slide them through the buckles. And again, I'm not going to pull them through very far. until I get the other one connected, and then we can tension everything up. Now that I've determined that the straps will in fact reach now, I can kind of tighten all of these up by just sliding everything up the buckle. And even though my trees are not in a perfectly triangular pattern, it looks like everything is kind of working out okay at this point. Now I can grab the 2 sets of gold poles and get these assembled. Now you'll notice that each of these poles is slightly arced, so that when the whole thing goes together, it forms one sweeping long arc. These poles are not identical to each other. This one is a little more curved and shorter. This one is a little less curved and longer. The longer one is the one we're going to use on the wider end of the hammock, and the shorter one goes on the narrow end, naturally. I'm going to start with the longer pole at the wide end of the tent, and I'm going to slip it through the pole guides. Now I'll grab the end of the pole and insert it into the grommet that's on this strap right below the pole guide. Now we'll come over to the other side of the hammock and slide the pole up while putting some tension and more of a curve into it, and then put this end into this grommet over here. And now we'll repeat the process over here on the narrow end. Once again, we'll put some tension on the pole, form it into an arc, and lock the other end into this grommet. I'm going to grab these clips on the tent body and clip them to the poles. Now that the hammock body is up, I wanted to adjust the tension, the levelness, and the height. I don't know if you've been able to tell in the camera, but I am on a bit of a slope here. So when it was first set up, I realized that the door of the hammock was a little bit too high for me to crawl into. But that was easy to adjust using the buckles. I was able to kind of add and remove tension from each corner so that I could slip the straps up and down the tree to get this at a lower height that I can get into and to kind of level it out. Now I'll go around and do a final tension adjustment on the straps to get everything nice and sturdy. Now that I've got the hammock tensioned and leveled and brought down to a reasonable height, let's take a look at it. So I'll start on the narrow end here, and I'll first show you these buckles because I don't think we looked at these closely, but you can see they are metal and they're spring loaded, so you can run the straps through and then tension them pretty easily. Over here is that aluminum pole that we saw when we were assembling the tent, and you can see there's kind of a nylon material here that's double stitched into the screen material that forms the most of the top of the hammock. Now, one thing to mention about this screen is that it is very, very fine, so those little tiny no-see-ums should not get through. There is some solid material here that's double stitched into the screening, and then down here you can see there's a reinforcement patch for the strap where the tent pole goes through and up around the narrow end of the hammock. Now the hammock has a door on just one side, but you can see there's double zippers here, so I should be able to open it up fairly easily. Now with the door kind of up out of the way, you can see the inside of this hammock is almost entirely mesh, so you're going to have plenty of ventilation in here. Now at the bottom side, as we already saw, there are sort of 2 solid patches. Now up here at the head end of the hammock, on this side there's a solid patch with a storage pouch in it. On this side, we just have a solid patch, no storage pouch. Up on the head end of the hammock inside, there's a plastic hook, so you can hang a lantern or whatever you might want to from there. Now, the base of the hammock is obviously flat and made from this stretchy material, so it'll lay flat but give a little bit when you sit into it. Now, the edge seams on the base are all reinforced and triple stitched, and then the underside has sort of a waterproof coating on it, so moisture from the ground should not wick up through the base of this. And then again, on the head end of the hammock, there's more meshing, and then the same type of buckle arrangements that we saw down at the bottom were just spread further apart up here. Now, one nice thing about this hammock, or really any hammock, is that if you're working with uneven ground like I am here, you don't have to worry about that. You can tension the hammock however you want, and it's going to be level. Now, one thing to keep in mind about a hammock like this is that it is anchored at 4 points rather than 2 like a traditional hammock. And what that means is that when you get in and out of it, it may kind of go up and down a little bit because of the tension on the straps, but it's not going to rock back and forth. So it should be much easier to get in and out of. In fact, let's give it a try now. Now you may be able to see that the hammock sunk down quite a bit, and it is a little bit bouncy up and down, but it is not rocking and swaying back and forth. I'm not afraid I'm going to fall out of this thing. Now the reason it's kind of bouncy is because the span between my trees is a little bit far, If you've got trees that are closer together, you'll be able to tighten it up more and it won't bounce quite as much. And again, just like getting in the hammock, getting out is easy because of the 4-point design. It's not gonna rock back and forth and throw you out of it. The hammock also comes with an understorage pouch, and all we have to do is clip this onto the bottom of the hammock. There are 4 buckles underneath the base of the hammock behind the poles, and this just clips in at each corner. Once this is buckled in, you can throw your gear or whatever you want in there, maybe your shoes, things like that. And then you can also use the adjustable straps to tighten or loosen it as needed. Now I can grab the rain fly and unfold it and throw it over the hammock. When I do, I'm going to want to make sure I orient this so that the wide end of it matches up with the wide end of the hammock, and that the door flap on the rain fly matches up with the door fly on the hammock body. And I also want to make sure that the side with the waterproofing, or sort of the shiny side, is facing down towards the hammock body. Now that I've got the rain fly oriented roughly over the hammock, I'm going to find the straps with the buckles and connect those into the buckles that are on the end of the straps where the poles are. Now I'm going to grab these hooks that are at the 4 corners of the rain fly, and I'm going to hook them around the buckles that are on the end of the strap that connects to the hammock body. And then to make sure that the rain fly is tensioned, I can use the straps that are at each of the corners on these buckles. And then once I get it where I want, I can fold the rain fly underneath the tent pole to keep the water out. I'll open up the door of the rain fly, and I'll find these fabric straps that are about halfway up and tie these off to the poles. If you've got trekking poles or maybe sticks, you can tie them off to the corners of the door to make yourself kind of a rain canopy in front of the main opening for the hammock. The other alternative is to just roll the door up out of the way and secure it using the straps and the dog bones that are on top of the rain fly. Now looking at the door on the rain fly, you can see we've got a nice wide weather strip here to kind of hide and protect the zipper. And of course, everything on this rain fly is double stitched and seam sealed where it needs to be. And as I already mentioned, there is waterproofing material on the underside of the rain fly. Now at this point, I'm ready to take the hammock down, but to keep the video from getting too long, I'm not going to show you those steps. We'll just skip to the end when I've got everything packed up. I didn't have any trouble getting everything packed back up in the carry case. However, I did have to be very intentional about how I folded up the hammock body and to make sure that all the air was squeezed out and everything was compressed fairly tightly. But once I did that, everything fit back in here just fine. As I said earlier, if you want to learn more about this, I will leave affiliate links down below. I hope you enjoyed spending a few minutes checking out this unique and interesting hammock with me. Thanks for watching.